Hello everybody, Anthony Aniano here from RotoBaller Radio and RotoBaller.com with another edition of our Fantasy Football Preview Series, late round sleeper tight ends for your 2023 Fantasy Football Draft. Folks, don't forget, head over to RotoBaller.com right now, check out everything we have there, the main page, premium package, expert chats, you name it, RotoBaller.com, the place to be. Sign up for the NFL Premium Pass using the promotional code ACES, save at checkout, and take advantage of all the great tools, including the Team Sync optimizers, Team Sync tools, lineup optimizers, draft rankings, waiver wire reports, you name it. RotoBaller.com, the place to be. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel and download the app. It's free. All the great content of RotoBaller.com right there on your phone, whether it's DFS, season long, premium package, you name it. It's all right there on the RotoBaller app, so make sure you take advantage of that. And as we get closer and closer to your NFL kickoff weekend, I want to remind everybody about our good friends at the FFPC, the home of season-long fantasy football. It's been 14 years since the FFPC first filled their first leagues, and they've grown to be one of the world's largest league commissioners. Not a single FFPC league has ever folded, and leagues are forming right now. FFPC has plenty of great slow draft and live draft formats, including best ball drafts starting at $35. Best of all, every RotoBaller listener and viewer will get $25 off their first FFPC contest. Go to rotoballer.com/FFPC to take advantage of this offer. Don't miss out on the FFPC experience, the home of season-long fantasy football. All right, everybody, we're going to talk a little bit tight ends today as you get closer and closer to your fantasy draft. Hopefully, you've already checked out the mid-round tight end sleepers. Today, some later round tight end sleepers. And interesting, 3 rookies I'm going to be talking about today. Now, let's start out with the obvious here and talk tight end draft strategy. Kelsey, Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, Darren Waller, Dallas Goedert. Those are in my opinion, the elite 7 tight ends. Those are the safe plays. Plug and play, walk away. You're not taking any of those guys out of your lineup, barring injury. Okay, now, if you miss out on them, now maybe, see, for me, if I draft one of those 7, I'm probably not even drafting a second tight end. I'll work the waiver wire, add a second tight end if injury occurs when I get to the bye week, whatever that may be. Now, if I miss out on them and I end up having to stream the tight end position, you got to look at matchups, you got to look at productivity, and you have to look at upside, and that's where this comes in. Some freebies, some late rounders. Maybe they work out. Maybe you got to make a move and switch them out for somebody else. But there are 3 rookies available in the late rounds of your drafts that do have me intrigued. Okay, now, ADP, first off, is based on the NFFC ADP, and I've shrunken the sample size, so it goes from August 1st till today's recording, which is on Thursday, August 24th. So over the last 24 days, this is what we're seeing. This is the trend we're seeing in ADP for these tight ends. And the first late round tight end I want to mention is Dalton Kincaid, the first round pick out of Utah by the Buffalo Bills. He's currently going as the 6th pick in round 12. So in a 16-round draft, he's going right before you're taking your kicker and your defense in rounds 15 and 16. He's going as pick 142.11, tight end 16. So he's not being drafted as a starting tight end. He's drafting as a backup, but a backup with a ton of upside. Remember, the Buffalo Bills traded up 2 spots to draft Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. He ran a 4.7 40 at the combine. Last season for Utah, 890 receiving yards on 70 targets, 8 touchdowns last season. He also had 8 touchdowns in 2021 as well. So a reliable red zone threat through his college career. He averaged 12.7 yards per catch. But here's what has me intrigued by Dalton Kincaid. Buffalo Bills didn't bring in a wide receiver. They're still rolling Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis. They still have Dawson Knox. There's talk of Kincaid sliding out a little bit and being used out of the slot. This is a first-round pick. This is not a project by the Buffalo Bills. He is going to be expected to play and play a significant role for the Buffalo Bills. Dawson Knox may line up, quote-unquote, as the tight end 1, but Dalton Kincaid is the big pass-catching acquisition of the Buffalo Bills. There was no free agent. There was no wide receiver drafted. It is Dalton Kincaid as that primary wide receiver. Now, I have him in one FFPC format where I went Evan Ingram, and then I was able to get Dalton Kincaid right around that round 12 spot. Okay, Ingram will be in my lineup week 1. Okay, in the FFPC tight end premium, I could eventually use both, or Dalton Kincaid could even surpass or fill in if I don't like a matchup for Evan Ingram. So Dalton Kincaid in round 12, tight end 16. Number 2, another rookie, and this is all rookies today. Usually rookies tight ends, highly unproductive. However, it was a stellar crop of rookies in the 2023 draft, and many of them were drafted in spots where they're stepping into significant roles. And that leads me to the second tight end I want to mention, Sam LaPorta of the Detroit Lions. Remember, Detroit traded TJ Hockenson to Minnesota last year, so they draft LaPorta out of Iowa in the second round, ran a 4.59 40 at the combine, comes out of Iowa, and he's already listed as a starting tight end for a Detroit Lion offense that should be able to put up points. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the running game with Jahmyr Gibbs. Detroit invested in their offense in the draft. Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam LaPorta. Hockenson was a vital piece of that Lions offense until they moved on from him last year. Jamison Williams, we know, suspended in the beginning of the year. Sam LaPorta can see a ton of red zone targets for this Detroit Lions team in 2023. Now, currently, he's going at pick 15.6, right in the middle of round 15, second to last round of most fantasy drafts, going as pick 181.14, tight end 19. Now, somebody said to me, Anthony, in the SiriusXM Host League, you didn't draft a second tight end. You drafted Dallas Goedert. Absolutely. Dallas Goedert's playing every week except for the bye week. And the reason I didn't draft a backup tight end is because guys like Sam LaPorta at tight end 19 in round 15, in some formats, might not even be drafted. So if I could need a Sam LaPorta off the waiver wire after week 1, week 2, whatever it may be, that type of tight end will be available as well. So I have no problem spending a little fab if I need to due to injury or bye week if you lose one of those top end tight ends. My final tight end ad here from the deep round sleepers, Michael Mayer of the Las Vegas Raiders. Second round pick out of Notre Dame by the Raiders, ran a 4.7 40 at the combine as well. He's going in the final round of the drafts, 16.2. Overall pick 199.61. Cracks the top 200, going as tight end 23. So he's going to be available on waiver wires as well, post-draft in some formats. At Notre Dame, 67 catches, 809 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He's got 18 touchdowns in 3 years in college at Notre Dame. More of a touchdown threat than Sam LaPorta was at Iowa. Now, he's currently listed with the Raiders behind Austin Hooper, who they brought in as a free agent after they traded Darren Waller. That doesn't scare me much anyway. It's Austin Hooper. We've done the Hooper dance before. Not necessarily something I want to do again. Michael Mayer being drafted ahead of Austin Hooper, and deservedly so, as he replaces Waller in that Raiders offense. Jimmy Garoppolo has made good use of the tight ends before. He's had players like George Kittle at his helm, so he knows the value of a tight end who can find space in the middle and in the red zone. Okay, Michael Mayer, if he's on the waiver wire, let him percolate. Let's see what happens. Put a fab in if you need him. If you want to draft him in the last round, if you want to go a couple of sleeper tight ends, see what hits, I love the move. I took Michael Mayer in the SiriusXM Dynasty League as a second or third round pick. Don't plan on using him much, okay? But nonetheless, he's on my roster, and I expect bigger things from the rookie out of Notre Dame as the season and as his career goes on. So to recap, 3 late-round sleeper tight ends for your 2023 fantasy draft. Number 1, Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Sam LaPorta of the Detroit Lions. And number 3, Michael Mayer, Las Vegas Raiders. As always, everybody, give me a follow on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.